once again, the three dudes of horror.
Hi, well, I'm Toots.
Damien.
Worm boy.
Worm boy.
How's it going, guys? It's been a while. I know it's
Yeah.
It's been like what, 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
Yeah,
3
something like
weeks. Going on a month.
Yeah. So we're back reviewing.
We just came home from the theater right now. We just saw Insidious: The Last Key, which is the 4th installment in the Insidious franchise. So this will be a spoiler review. So just in case if you haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, if you want to go see it, I mean, don't watch this because we're gonna spoil the shit out of it.
Yeah.
No, I just mean don't watch our review yet.
Yeah.
Watch the movie first, then you come back watch our review.
Yeah.
All right, but we should give at least our initial reaction to it, and then you know they can see it for themselves if they wish, and then we're gonna get into spoilers, actual spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your initial reaction, Worm Boy?
It was okay. It wasn't awesome. It wasn't like, top notch in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really bad, but there was some things that I didn't like. But I mean, I'm sure you guys may feel the same. But overall, I think it's okay movie.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of things that I could have done better. It seemed forced to me.
Yeah.
For some, most of the parts seemed really forced and like hurried.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you guys felt the same way. What did you guys think?
Before we get to Damien's reaction, and you
Okay.
can kind of already see it on his face, the most I'll say is I thought it was like what you said. I thought it was just okay. I thought it was marginal at best. There are a lot of problems with the story in terms of this movie. There are a lot of plot holes, a lot of, well, not necessarily inconsistencies, but when we get to the spoilers, we're gonna
Elaborate a little
bit more. But my initial reaction was like, it was fine. It was marginal. Now Damien,
It was serviceable.
yeah, it was serviceable for now.
No, I mean, I'll give it this. Like I was saying earlier, we were talking about it. If this had been a standalone, like haunted house, ghost story horror movie, it would have been all right. But I think as an Insidious movie, it was a letdown. Like, I think this is easily the weakest link in the Insidious franchise. Like, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and I can't fully agree with that because I don't think it was like really, really bad. But I guess for me, there was just, I guess I did kind of enjoy the story a little bit, even though there was like some missing links to it, like that didn't make sense, like the keys, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why the hell would you call this movie The Last Key? Like, they didn't even explain anything about the keys. Like, what does the key represent,
Yeah.
I know it opened the doors, the red doors, and that's pretty much how I found out.
And then there was the key, like,
Well,
where he steals.
we'll get into that.
Alright.
Right now we're still in non-spoiler territory.
Yeah, and then we'll.
I spoiled it already.
No, you didn't really spoil anything.
I don't. Well, I mean, like if I'm speaking like in a very general sense, I'll say like I agree with what you said that a lot of it seemed rushed, and I thought there was a lot of like shaky cam close-ups in this movie. Like the whole movie, a lot of it was like, and there's some close-ups where it's literally like just the person's face is the entire frame is just blown up, like when characters were having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like cut to a close-up of them, cut to a close-up of them. Like it was, I don't know. I didn't think the camera work was good. I didn't think the sound design was good.
Yeah, I thought it was a rush job also.
And like what I don't want, but you said it first, so I want you to say it about the comedy. So you say it, not me.
Okay, I thought the comedy in terms of the sidekicks, they actually refer to themselves as sidekicks to an extent.
To a psychic.
Yeah, sidekicks to a psychic, and I thought that most of the comedy was forced. I didn't think Specs, the guy with the glasses, was very funny. I think his part was a little more forced in terms of the comedy. Now Tucker, the other guy, the one with the long hair, I thought some of his comedy was forced, but I think he was able to pull it off a little bit more. I think he had a little more, or I thought he had a little more charisma compared to the other guy.
But like
Yeah.
what you were saying about the a lot of stuff being forced, I thought that during the movie. I was thinking a lot of this comedy is like forced, and it's like the timing was off. Like I thought, like
Yeah,
I don't know, like
yeah, and
because those characters I think are actually funny in the other Insidious movies.
Yeah, and this one I think they were so funny, but
They had little spots of funny moments.
yeah,
They're
they did have moments.
like they overdid it, I
It
guess.
just seemed like Adam Robitel, I think, the director.
Hmm.
It seemed like he was trying too hard to create the Insidious formula and the Insidious atmosphere, you know?
Yeah, but I think that's where they messed up. Where they should have kept the same director from before.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, the Specs character, Lee Winnell is the actor.
Hmm.
He wrote all the Insidious movies, including this one, and he directed part 3. But the
What?
brilliant,
Really? Specs?
yeah,
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
it's Lee Winnell. Well, he's the guy from Saw 1.
Oh,
The
okay.
one that's
Really?
the one that's chained up with Carrie Elways.
Cuts his.
No, that's Carrie Elways. The guy that's chained up with him.
Oh.
In that
Yeah.
little,
Oh wow.
The one that sees the Jigsaw actually like get up and.
yeah, the big moment at the end where Jigsaw stands.
Spoiler
up.
alert! Yeah, if you haven't
Yeah.
seen the first Saw movie.
I don't remember that movie, but yeah.
That's like 15 years old. Well, James Wan directed the first 2, and James Wan is like, if you got that guy directing a movie, like it could be a pretty terrible movie, and he's gonna bring out the best in it. So, the first Insidious, the first 2, I liked them, and then Lee Winnell wrote and directed part 3. Excuse me, and I thought he did a good job. Like I liked part 3. But the new director that they got for this, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, Adam Robitel. The only credit I recognize of his is he wrote Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie.
I haven't seen that one, but you guys warned me about that
Don't
one.
bother.
Yeah.
Nah, don't waste your time.
I was so excited after the marked ones.
Hmm.
I was
That one's good.
I was so pumped. Like, what are they gonna do next? A lot of people didn't like the marked ones, but I liked that movie. And then I was really anticipating where they were gonna go with Paranormal Activity. And then when the Ghost Dimension came out, I was like, oh, like damn it. Well, this guy that directed Insidious: The Last Key wrote that one, and I don't know. I didn't like the directing. Like I don't know, like. I know it's a difficult job or whatever, and I don't know how to do it. But
No, but still, you can tell the difference.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Like
if James Wan would have been directing this movie, and if the dialogue was verbatim, exactly the
Yeah.
same, everything was the same as terms
it's like
of
going
writing.
to a restaurant and you get a really good chef that cooks a really good meal, and then you get someone else, and you're like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, I want my other chef. Like, what happened to
it's
the
like-
chef?
it's
Oh,
like-
he went somewhere else. I'm like, what? What do you mean?
It's
It's
the
like-
same
yeah.
meal, same ingredients, but cooked by a different guy.
Yeah, it's like going to an establishment and it's under new management. It's just
Yeah.
pretty much. And I thought some of the like feel good moments, you know, where as like asking for forgiveness and whatnot. We'll get into spoiler territory in a minute. But I thought those parts they were trying to be endearing, but they came off pretty hokey. Almost like corny, pretty much. They came out, corny. And there was one that I really had a problem with, and I'll, like I said, I'm gonna elaborate a little bit more. So, for right now, right now it's still spoiler free. So, like I said, our initial reaction is it's tolerable. Damien had a little more of an issue with it.
Damien's wife had a lot of issues.
Oh
with it.
in no uncertain terms did she.
No, she's just like, no, it sucked.
My wife had nothing good to say about this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, she was crying, I think. No,
she wasn't crying. But in all fairness, like I just remember bits and pieces of part 1, so I need to rewatch that one, and I need to see part 2 because I haven't seen part 2. But I've seen
part 2.
Yeah, but I've seen part 3, and I'm sure if I were to rewatch part 1 and watch part 2, I may get more upset depending. So just I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, James Wan directed the first 2, and that dude is like, I really wish he would have kept directing the Insidious franchise.
Yeah.
I didn't think Lee Whannell did a bad job with part 3. I thought part 3 was still good.
Yeah.
But it just would have been really awesome if James Wan would have kept directing all of them. Like, I think The Last Key would have been a lot better if he had been directing, like what we were saying when we were walking out of the theater. Like there was no like suspense building in this movie.
Yeah.
Like
it tried to build suspense.
yeah, like when a character is like walking through the dark house, you like, I don't know if it was y'all's experience, but I actually started getting bored, and I was like, where is this going? I was like, where's this scene going? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, there was no suspense building. There wasn't like tension building. Like, oh, something's coming from, even if it
was predictable.
Even if it culminated in a jump scare, which
Yeah.
It's a horror movie. Like, still like something, but I was just there like, and then like anyway, I don't know.
Alright.
I'm gonna start going off on a rant, so.
Alright. No, you hold that rant until the spoilers.
No, I mean, we can do it already.
Alright, so that's our reaction. If you wish to go see it, fine. I personally would recommend
Wait for Redbox.
Yeah, wait for Redbox or just wait until Netflix.
Dollar movie.
Or if you can con somebody to pay for your ticket, you can do it that way.
Yeah, you can do that, but I mean, if you've seen the other 3, you're probably gonna want to see this one because,
if you're a completist.
yeah, if you want to complete the series.
I mean, I would.
That's why I saw it.
I would give this movie. This is a good way to put it. My feelings on the movie. I think this movie is definitely dollar movie worthy. Like, I would be willing to go see it again at the dollar movies. Like, it's not a terrible movie. Like,
It's not.
But I just, as far as, like I said, I'll reiterate, like,
Everything happened so fast.
but like the fact that it's an Insidious movie, like that, to me, like it holds it up to a higher standard, which I don't think it met at all.
Yeah, I don't think your wife would pay 10 cents to go watch it. I don't think she'll watch it for free.
No, she's gonna let you go by yourself.
Yeah, we were already having a discussion in the car on the way home about completing my Blu-ray collection and buying this one to complete my Insidious collection. I'm gonna have to, if I'm able to do that, I'm gonna have to do it in a very sneaky manner.
You're gonna have to put in a glass case like Annabelle and just get in
Or
there.
someone can buy it for you.
She's already warned me not to spend money on this movie. So yeah. Well.
All right, so with that being said, we're gonna get into spoilers. So this is your last warning. We're getting into spoilers. Okay. So all right, so let's talk about how we really feel about the movie.
Fuck this movie. No.
Yeah. All right, so pretty much the movie starts off in, what was it, like 1955?
Yeah.
Or in the mid 50s. In
She's a little girl.
It's Five Keys,
Yeah.
New Mexico.
Elise is a little girl.
Yeah, it's Elise is a little girl. They live next to a prison. Essentially, it's like the warden's house.
That's what I was the father the warden, or was he just
That's what
a
I was
guard?
thinking. That's what I was
He
thinking.
seemed like he was.
He had
He seemed like the
he had
warden.
like the guard uniform.
Yeah,
That's
he
why I
said,
was like,
remember that part of the movie says, I know I punish, this is what I do for a living, I
Yeah.
punish people.
Yeah.
he's like, don't tell me how to punish my daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking like that. I was thinking like, well, he lives like in this house right next to the prison, so it's like, yeah, he's the warden.
Yeah, and
But anyway, like as we all know, she's clairvoyant,
mhm.
so they don't bother like revealing that because they're assuming
They
like,
already
this
know.
is part 4 in the franchise, so everybody knows that character's clairvoyant.
Yeah.
So then she's hearing spirits in her bedroom with her little brother, and well, they also kind of established like that her mom is sort of like believes in her gift and
Yeah.
believes that it's a gift and it's a good thing, and that the father's kind of like narrow-minded and afraid of it, so she can't really like expose the fact that she has that clairvoyant gift, or else her dad will punish her, like what you were
Yeah,
saying.
and pretty much hit her with a cane, right?
Yeah, he'll cane her with literally a cane.
Or
Yeah.
put her downstairs in the basement.
Yeah.
Is it the
Yeah.
basement?
Yeah. Yeah, he'll beat her and then take her to the basement, lock her in there, and she gets essentially tricked by a demon posing as a little girl or child
Boy,
or boy. Yeah.
to open the door.
Yeah, to open a red door so it can be let out. And so she initially just kind of introduces this thing to the world,
Yeah.
essentially. And then years later, she gets a phone call from someone by the name of Ted Garza that lives in the home now. And so she gets her sidekicks, and they go and travel to New Mexico to encounter whatever's there, essentially the demon and whatever spirits. And then hilarity ensues. And
Well, I want to say that actor that the first time I remember seeing Kirk Acevedo,
mhm,
the one that played the Garza guy,
mhm.
the first time I saw him was in Oz, and I've always thought that guy was a good actor, and I thought he was good in this movie. Like he was one of the actors that I thought did, and then
He was already possessed, right?
yeah,
He was already under like the influence.
yeah, like
When
and that's the
they
whole
got there.
yeah,
Mhm.
because he had already had that girl, the waitress or nurse or something.
That was like a nurse.
He had a girl like down in the dungeon in the basement for like 4 months or something. Like, but this 5 key demon that they never completely explained in the movie,
yeah.
like gets in the minds of men that are in that house and like gets them to, spoilers, like kidnap women, like
Yeah.
traveling women. I don't know.
And locks
like,
them in a dungeon, but
Yeah.
for what reason? I
In
don't
a
know.
fallout shelter.
I didn't
Yeah.
understand that though. Like
And then
for
if
what
it-
reason?
Well, that thing takes their souls, doesn't he? Like he puts that one key in their chest and turns it, and then
I guess so. There's a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
then
things
why
they don't
would
explain.
but why would they lock her up? You know, for what? What's the point?
Yeah, and they
That
should
makes no sense. Like if you want the soul, just take it.
the demon is a He-Man woman hater. Like, he
Yeah,
just like likes the men are like torturing women in the house. I don't know, like they don't really.
They don't.
Yeah, they
explain
don't.
that
Yeah,
part.
they don't explain that.
But
And-
Kirk Acevedo did really good playing that guy, and then of course Lynn Shay, she did good. Like I think she did good in the movie. Like she's trying really hard to like carry this movie that's got really poor dialogue.
Mhm.
And like the camera work is really bad, and I felt like very lazy in this movie.
Mhm.
Like that's like you were saying. Like how did you put it earlier?
With the camera,
Well, just like all the elements of the movie. You said that
It was very
seemed-
rushed.
it was too rushed, and I think that like the camera work itself, like it was not.
Like I didn't see any impressive shots in the movie. Like,
It was just like
and every time that they're at that house at
it was
night,
plain and dry, pretty much.
yeah, it's literally the same shot to let you know that they're there at the house. It's like a low angle shot of the house with their like home with their motorhome like
Mhm.
at an angle like right here. I saw it like at least twice in the movie. I was like, okay, like
It was the same one, right?
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the same exact shot, and I was like,
Yeah. So pretty much what happens is, Elise gets a vision of this girl. Like when she goes and investigates, she gets a vision of this spirit saying, "Help me," and she's wondering why. Why is she
Why do
saying
you need
help me?
help? Yeah.
You know, and even Ted Garza's like, well, who's this spirit? And she's like, well, I encountered her when I was 16, and that's where she actually like gets fed up with her father's
leaves.
beatings and runs away. leaving her younger brother behind. And it turns out that like you said, that the Garza character had this girl chained up in essentially what used to be a fallout shelter, and I mean that loosely, and they, Garza starts going apeshit and takes out a gun, threatens to kill him. He gets killed by Specs.
That was actually pretty cool.
That was a hardcore.
I didn't expect him to do
he
that.
Drops this really heavy looking antique bookcase like on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Well, it's because Lynn Shay and Tucker get like the Ted Garza character locks them down in the fallout shelter
where they find the living girl.
Yeah, and then Specs is like the only one out there in the house that's left that like can deal with Ted Garza and then free them. So there's like this little cat and mouse scene which was shot really poorly again.
I honestly thought that, once he like hits him and incapacitates him,
that was funny.
Like he was like before the drop of the bookshelf.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna pick up the gun and like, okay, don't move, and then at some point Garza would be like redeemed.
Mm-hmm.
This is before we found out like that she was actually kidnapped and missing, and then just out of nowhere just gets the bookcase and just drops it.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe he was thinking like, oh, this will hold him down, and then when you hear the crunch, like, whoops.
It was like, well, I didn't want to kill him, but it happened.
Although that's not mentioned, as far as we know, Specs just there you go.
Yeah. Well, you saw like all the blood starting to ooze out from underneath his body. So, but like what you had mentioned too, it's about the relationship with the brother. Mm-hmm. And then when she goes back to the town later, she runs into who she finds out are her two nieces.
The two daughters.
Yeah, nieces.
Her
nieces.
And then the brother, like I don't know what y'all thought, but
the brother looked weird.
No, but I thought that whole storyline where he's mad at her and
that was dumb.
I thought it was weak. I don't know if y'all agree with that.
Mm-hmm. I can kind of understand.
And what's the actor's name?
Bruce Davison.
Yeah, and it's like he was doing.
It didn't sell me.
But I mean, it's like he was doing his best.
Yeah.
With this storyline and this dialogue, and Lynn Shay was doing her best.
And that's why I said like I don't blame the actors or the actresses or anybody.
Me either.
I blame the writing and the directing.
Yeah.
And so Christian, who's looks older as an adult, but is the younger brother of Elise.
Yeah, he looks older than her.
Yeah, like of course he resents her because she ran away, literally ran away from the house, and left him by himself, like with the father, and of course he resented that this entire time. But
it just seemed like this really like cheap.
It seemed kind of forced, yeah.
To develop some kind of drama in the movie. Like I was just kind of like.
Yeah, I think they could have done away with that. They didn't need to go over that. And I think what they would say, oh, hey, like, you're here. Like,
and it was,
cool.
It was total
that would have been better.
Now, the thing is, I'm sure somebody would say, well, she's psychic. But you never see her get any, like, vision or anything. Or inkling that, oh, they're going to be there. Or anything like that. And in fact, I'm really not sure to what capacity she is a psychic, other than she can see dead people.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
They didn't really.
She's clairvoyant. Like she can sense and sometimes communicate with the dead.
Yeah, she's a medium. She's more of a medium.
Medium is medium's a better term. Like she's not like somebody like, oh, I lost my insurance policy. I need you to help me find it. And she couldn't like touch your palms and be like, oh.
Yeah,
she's not.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that seemed very forced. And what you mentioned before that most of the dialogue, especially between the family, it has a lot of exposition.
Yes.
It's an exposition dump, pretty much.
No, but this is the thing. There's one huge exposition scene where right before they go back to her hometown, the Five Keys, New Mexico, with her and Tucker and Specs, where she literally like this is the thing. This happened like at least twice in the movie. She explains things to them when they're all like sitting around the table, like how we are now. She explains things to them that we as the audience have already seen in the movie. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, why do you need to have that scene for the audience if we've already seen all of this? Like,
it's almost
and then there's constant exposition in the movie. I thought, like,
it's almost if you think about it, it's almost kind of like a stage play. Like it's kind of stage play-ish. And what I mean by that is when, and I've seen this in some other movies too, where someone's like, "Hey, wow, look at you! Like you're finally a doctor that got married last year, and this and that." And it's like, why are you telling me this? Like, it's my life. I should know this. You know, it's for the benefit of the audience.
It was like cheap ways to keep explaining literally
The same thing.
somebody talking, explaining what's going on to the audience. Like they're all throughout the movie. There's scenes where like at least two characters are talking, and one of them is explaining to the other character, but they're actually explaining to the audience, like assuming that we're total morons, like that we don't understand. Like, well, this is going on, and this is, and then like. And like I said, like.
But then they do that, but they can't explain the fucking keys.
Yeah. And I was
They don't
wondering.
explain the keys. They don't. They never really explained the demon or monster, the main monster with the guy with the keys on his fingers.
Yeah.
They never really clearly explained that demon's motivation.
Demon, like,
his motivation.
because he's
like,
the main one, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
this movie, yeah.
I mean, other than just the demon wants to go and possess somebody, you know, or ruin whatever lives.
But I was gonna say it, dude. And we were talking about it earlier. It seems like they were forcing like this like femininity theme into this movie. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, that's what it seemed like to me. Like, you have a demon that's like possessing every man that moves into that house to like torture all the women in the house, and then like actually like. Because there's that scene where Lin Shaye finds all the suitcases in the tunnel.
Oh, that's another great.
To like actually drag women into the house and like torture them and then deliver them over to him so he can take their souls, and I don't know, like it seems like.
Yeah, like what did he do? Like, did he take the souls? Like,
That's the way I saw it.
did he just like to torture them?
And then Lin Shaye is, because of course, I mean, Lin Shaye is becoming like the heroine of the Insidious franchise, which is cool. But to me, it just seemed like they were hitting you on the nose.
They
with
were
that,
overdoing
like,
it.
like the hero's a woman, the villain is like this. It seemed like this demonic, like,
Man.
like, but like a misogynistic demon. Like, I don't know.
I think it was just bad writing all around.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that bothered me too, thinking back on it, is the fact that when Lin Shaye's character goes into the house, she says, "There's a lot of spirits in here," you know, and even in, there's a tunnel that they go in, or that she goes into, that she finds a suitcase, and it turns out it was the spirit of that
Anna.
girl, woman named Anna. That the same thing happened to the current girl that managed to like get released and escape. It's a bit convoluted, but it turns out that the father or somebody has been doing this for a long time, and that spirit was still haunting the house. So she's like, okay, well, why is this other girl here? Or why is her spirit still haunting the house? And so she gets into this tunnel that's in the fallout shelter. Or excuse of a fallout shelter, but those are more nitpicks. And you know, the suitcase, she opens it up and it has a skull. So right here. And
there you go.
yeah, that's Anna right there. And so it's Anna's skull with some of her belongings, like clothing and whatnot.
There's like a whole stack of suitcases.
Yeah, and there's a whole stack. And the thing is,
where were those other spirits?
Yeah, where were those other spirits? Where were these other spirits that she kept referring to?
Yeah, that needed the help, right?
Yeah,
and then when she goes into the first.
And why only that one girl, you know?
And
when she goes into the further, and I was all like, are they like in the further of the jail now?
Yeah. That you would have thought like they were all there.
Yeah.
And then they just needed to be released.
But is that what that
They
was?
didn't even show anything.
Were they like in the further of the jail that's right next to the house?
That's what I think it was.
They were long. It was like the old style, like the first generation,
like the
long tiers,
like the Green Mile almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought,
like cell blocks. Like
I thought that was like next door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Lynn Shay's like in a cell, like with a padlock around her neck, like with a chain on it, like in the further though. And so her niece has to rescue her.
Yeah.
It's a lot of. It's hard to explain, but if you watch the movie, you'll understand. It's not hard to understand if you watch the movie, but it's hard to explain to someone that hasn't seen the movie. But
yeah, and
but I was just kind of, and then there's a scene where he's dragging them, the two nieces.
Yeah.
Like they have
chains.
They have padlocks, giant padlocks and chains around their necks, and this guy.
Yeah, where did he get those?
No, but it was like another like imagery of like this guy is like really, this demon like really hates women, like, and then you know what I mean.
And you know what I saw towards the end that I was like, what the hell? Why didn't she just do this from the beginning?
Like just get hypnotized and just go into the further.
No, not well. Yeah, that. But no, the mom. You know, why didn't she just get rid of the demon in the first place? That's it.
Yeah,
you know, she knew his shit was going down. And why did she only come out when she blew the whistle, you know?
Yeah, and
that was dumb.
Yeah, and like I was actually expecting at one moment, huh?
No, like
whistle.
Yeah,
the scene that you were saying, like, well, what?
Oh, I'll get to that right now, but I was actually expecting the Fallout room or the Fallout shelter, whatever it is, that at some point she was gonna turn on a flashlight or whatever, and you would see all these spirits. Like maybe executed convicts and the victims.
Which would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Which they usually have in an Insidious movie. There's always a scene where a character's walking through the further and there's just like an army of spirits like.
Yeah, and they were like, help us and stuff like that. That's what I was expecting, and that never happened. And then, so there's a whistle that was given to Christian, the younger brother, as a kid. The mother, who was a very caring mother, was like, okay, well, if something scares you, just blow on the whistle. You'll be fine. I'll show up.
But they didn't even explain. They didn't even explain what, like, is she an angel? Like, what happened to her?
It was just a spirit, I think. But
why her? You know.
Well, the thing is, at the beginning,
couldn't it be any other person?
Well, at the beginning of the movie, she says, well, I won't be too far from you. Like, if you're in trouble, whatever, like, or if you get scared, just blow on the whistle. And I'll be right here. But you know, the first of all, the whistle was given to the brother, and then when
yes, true.
Yeah, and then when
I'm barely sorry.
We're
figuring it out.
Like I said, you need to watch the movie. You'll understand. Yeah, it's hard to explain the.
And then when Elise opens the red door, the mother goes in because she hears a commotion. This is back in the 50s. Hears a commotion, goes in, and the demon kills her. Like she gets hanged by a loose wire. Yeah, and of course the father gets all even more fucked up, and he was already fucked up. He's even more fucked up now. And then towards the end of the movie, the two nieces. Elise get trapped, you know, in the further. They're trying to get out. This demon's still going after them, and this is the pet peeve I have. This is the cliche that pisses me off to no end. Is when you see an action movie, and I think it happened in one of the Resident Evil movies too, where the hero is struggling with the villain. And they don't have access to their weapon, whether it's a gun or a whistle in this case. Someone else is able to get it, but instead of shooting the villain, they say, here, take it, and give it to the hero.
Yeah.
Which the entire time, the other person could have just shot them or could have blown the whistle. So, same shit happens, but with a whistle.
But I thought it was only for the boy.
That's the thing, though. It
So
really should have just been for the
They don't
boy.
really explain
Yeah,
the
like-
power of the whistle or whatever.
And if that's the case, then the niece, Imogen, I think that was her name, like could have just blown the whistle and her grandmother essentially would have shown up.
Yeah.
The spirit of her grandmother would have shown up. But she passes it to Elise, she blows the whistle, and the mother comes and saves the day.
But shouldn't a mother have came out already when the
Yes.
other girl blew the whistle?
Yeah,
The one that was already there?
yeah, she would. She should have come
I
out.
don't know.
And
Now I'm just confused.
yeah, it's just it's like I said, it's very convoluted. And then the mother shows up and saves the day. And if it would have, I would have at least
We're
bought.
stuck in a loop now.
Yeah, we're
That's
stuck
how
in,
it feels,
we're stuck
guys.
in the
That's
further.
how it is.
We're
So
stuck in the
if you
further.
Stuck in a loop now. So then the mother comes out and saves the day. And then we're
I don't know
back
what's going
around
on.
to that. Like,
I would have at least kind of bought it if the niece if Imogen blew the whistle, and the demon kind of turned around and said, "Oh, fuck you! Like it's not gonna work," and then passes it to Elise, and
Yeah.
then she blows it, and then the mother shows up.
like she has the power, like Charlie with the crucifix in Fright Night.
Yeah,
If he points it, it works. But if Peter Vincent tries it, it's like, oh, you don't have faith.
yeah, exactly.
But they explain it in Fright Night. They didn't explain it in this
Yeah,
movie.
I would at least kind of bought that, but
Like,
if you
that's the point where there needs to be some quick exposition, and there wasn't.
yeah, and if you narrow it down, it really should have been the brother the entire time. But like I said, and then shit goes down. Elise says goodbye to the mother. Mother walks away with a lantern.
Yeah, what the fuck was up with the lantern?
And
Like,
then the mother comes out and saves the day. No.
Just for clarification, he's the only one drinking beer. We're not drunk at all. You're not drunk.
the lantern, you
Huh?
know?
Yeah, the lantern. Why the lantern? And this is what kind of pissed me off a bit is at the very end. Oh yeah, at the very end, after saying goodbye to her brother because they finally forgave each other, they reconciled
Really quickly.
really quickly,
Yeah.
and then she said goodbye to her nieces and whatnot, and she's walking away with her sidekicks, and she says, "Hey, now I have a real family." And I was thinking, well, you had a mother that loved you.
Yeah.
You had a caring mother and a brother who was scared, but still kind of looked up to you.
And you just
And then-
reconciled with him.
Yeah,
And you found out you have two nieces.
Yeah.
But-
One who's clairvoyant like you.
But
Yeah.
her real
Right.
family or those two guys?
Yeah, it's like, now I have a real family.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure she might have been talking about her brother and
But
the
then-
nieces and
But
the sidekicks.
but they should have been in the picture
Yeah.
together, you know?
First of all, it sounded corny. Second of all, it should have been said where they were all present, just to kind of clarify a little bit more. But yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
you had a mother.
I guess that
You
was
had a
like
mother
that.
and a brother.
Since
The
it was-
father was the fuck up.
Since it was towards the end, I guess the writer's like, just do it.
Well, it's because
Finish it.
like in the movie in the Insidious franchise, like
Universe.
it's becoming like a staple. Where at the end of the movie, like Lin Shaye's character has this little like heartwarming but comedic moment with Tucker and Specs. As they like walk off towards their van or whatever. And it's another one of those moments like we mentioned earlier, like it seemed forced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like it would have been better if
Yeah, they
Like
shouldn't
what-
have forced
like what
it.
you said.
They shouldn't have forced it.
yeah, it would have been better if it was like you said, like I have a real family now, my actual blood fucking family. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you still have your brother that you just reconciled with. What about him? You know?
Yeah, it must,
yeah,
like
exactly.
And your
To
two
me-
nieces,
to me, it seemed more like she was like,
and one that
Thanks.
helped her. You know?
thanks mother for saving me. Now I have a real family. Fuck you, mother. Like, to me, that's what it seemed like. That it was just like, hello, you know. You had a real family before. Just the father was the fuck up.
I guess now that I'm thinking of it, I'm like, I was giving it like a good B plus, but now I'm like, maybe it's a B minus.
See, the other thing I'm wondering is if they're gonna start to like how they've done with The Conjuring. How The Conjuring is now a universe.
Mhm.
Like we have the Annabelle movies, and we're gonna have the Nun coming out soon.
Hey, but the
Like,
Conjuring.
are they gonna do?
The Conjuring is not, to me. The Conjuring is nothing compared to Insidious.
Well, it's all James Wan.
I think it's better though.
Oh, okay.
The
So you mean Insidious is nothing compared to The Conjuring?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Which the first two of both franchises were directed by James Wan.
Yeah.
But it's like, and now I'm wondering if they're gonna try to make like a universe with Insidious, like if they're gonna start having spin-offs with the niece character who you find out is a clairvoyant also, like
I really hope they don't.
She inherited the gift.
They should have ended it and the 3 movies, and that would have been
You know
great.
what? I wouldn't mind them doing that as long as someone else was writing and directing. Like if James Wan was involved again, other than just producing.
I think he's done with them.
Now here's some nitpicks.
He's doing Mortal Kombat.
And even your fiance talked about him too. Like, when we were outside, like, and some of the things we were bringing up is the fact that, and like I said, these are just nitpicks. Like these are just things we noticed. Is that the bomb shelter is made out of wood, which is not what you normally would do if it was an actual fallout shelter
No.
for atomic weapons. The door would not be made out of wood, or even it would have probably been made out of lead.
Metal.
Yeah, it would have been metal, but it probably would have been lead. The food would have been in the room itself and not just adjacent to there, like in jars. So things like that, where it's just like, really, why would it be there? Like it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But like I said,
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Well, it's because I didn't even realize until you guys started talking about it. Like I didn't even realize like, oh, that was supposed to. And I should have, because even at the beginning of the movie, like in the 50s, the father's watching like all the Cold War newsreels of like Stalin coming to power and Russia and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I was always just watching the movie all dumb, like, oh, they're in the basement. Like I didn't realize this is like a fallout shelter, like in case of like the Cold War, like nuclear winter.
Yeah, and then something else your wife mentioned is that you see the room like years later. Garza like helps them move like some Bibles and whatnot that were stacked in front of the door to their old bedroom, her and the brother. And you see the room, and it's pretty much the same how it was. But they were there till they were older. At least her when she was 16.
Right.
So why would they have like the same size bed and the same sheets and the handprints that were on the wall were like the same size?
They were poor people.
Yeah, that never grew up. They literally never grew up.
There's a lot of continuity issues.
There was a lot of continuity issues.
Yeah, I guess they were like, oh, no one's gonna notice, but
yeah, and even Garza mentions that when they first get there is like a lot of their furniture and whatnot were still in the house. Even after he moved in, he decided not to throw that stuff away. So I was like, okay, I can kind of buy that. I can kind of buy like, okay, well, we kept the chairs and the tables and the couches and stuff like that. But the fact that in the kids' room it's the same thing.
But I guess I have another reason why it'll probably still be the same in the kids' room, because you know how the father was, like abusive. So he probably not. You keep the same bed, whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't indicate that though, or they don't.
Well, he was beating her.
Yeah, but that's all.
And he was probably beating the kid too.
You know what I wanted to mention? There was one shot in the movie that I thought was good, like as far as like camera work, and it reminded me of Halloween. You know that famous scene where Jamie Lee Curtis stabs Michael with the hanger in his eye, and he's laying down in the background like blurry.
Yeah.
And she's in the foreground, and
then
she's
he
kind of
gets
like
out, yeah.
she's like leaning she's leaning against the wall, and then he gets up real slowly, like. And it was when the niece that's not clairvoyant.
Yeah.
When she's injured, and she's laying down on the floor.
Oh, and you see the demon like.
And you see the demon in the background, blurry, and she's in the foreground in focus, and she's like crying, and you can see him crawling towards her, like but out of focus. And I was like, okay, that's a good shot.
That was.
But immediately after that, they cut to a completely blown up close up of her face, just kind of like Like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh, now we're back to shitty filmmaking again.
Yeah.
Like,
The one joke I actually did like from the movie, I thought, like I said, the sidekicks had their moments, and even Lin Shaye had a couple moments. But the one that actually kind of made me like chuckle to myself is the one where what's his name, Tucker was removing the fan, like in the fallout shelter, like when she first sees like the suitcase in there,
Oh, and then he's
and he's like, stand back, like that.
It
It looks like he's gonna go in,
and gives her the flashlight.
and then gets the flashlight, gives it to her. All right, go for it, like that.
yeah,
I thought that part was
that was funny.
yeah.
yeah,
But
that's
it was,
something I would do.
but it was like, it made me cringe though with the jello at the end of the.
Yeah, that was
I
a
was
bit.
like,
That wasn't bad. That was funny.
It made me cringe. Dude.
Why?
Like, nah.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny. He was flirting.
yeah, but it seemed very pervy at the same time. But at this point, I was like, oh, that's Tucker.
That's who they
That
are.
was like my wife was saying, like Lee Winnell kisses. What's the name of the
Imogen.
Imogen? The
Imogen.
one that's clairvoyant,
Mhm.
like Lin Shaye.
That was like, okay, really, wow, that's.
No, but I was
She
like,
was very accepting of that. You know?
That
They
she
shouldn't
looked-
have done that.
like he
Nah.
looked like at least 15 years older than her. Like she looked like a teenage girl. I was like,
You know what would have been funny? Yeah, that was.
relationships exist like that.
That was a bit pervy, and what would have been funny is that he did that just out of compulsion, and then she like looks at him, looks like if she's gonna reciprocate, and then just like that
Yeah.
slaps him. I thought that would have been a funny moment.
but yeah, I'll be generous to this movie. I'll say like I don't know, man. Like I'll say I'll give it like a C at the highest grade, maybe a C minus. I was gonna give it a D, but I don't think it's that bad. Like
It's not. It's just
I would give it like a C or a C minus.
I give it a B minus, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. I mean, I thought it was gonna be better because of the Insidious franchise, you know. But then after seeing it, I was like,
And after we brought up some points.
yeah. And now I'm like, I bet you if I see it one more time, or a couple more times,
Your score is gonna get lower. Like,
probably because now I'm gonna be, because it was hard for me to pay attention because some people were talking quite a bit,
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a
so I
lot
couldn't
of,
really like focus on some of the scenes.
I was actually starting to kind of laugh a little bit when I was laughing a little bit when it was the really like corny scene at the end, and you looked like you were gonna do that slow like.
It was kind of me. It was kind of me like being like I wanted to end already. Like
yeah.
like okay, that's good. Like I get the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give it a
agree
B
with that.
minus.
I will say this though. This movie did have a few good ideas, but they just didn't expand on them.
Yeah.
Like the thing about the house being full of spirits, like they didn't expand on things like that, or the
Yeah,
suitcases.
They wrote. It seemed like Lee Winnell wrote a great premise for a ghost story,
Mhm.
and a good reason to have. And I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it right now. A good excuse to have like all these ghosts in this house,
Yeah.
and it was just there was nothing on that, like you said, like there was no emphasis. There was nothing like they didn't expand on that.
Yeah, I was expecting to see, like convicts with like a burnt mark on their head, after being electrocuted, and the way they would,
Yeah, of course.
that's what I was waiting to see. And then maybe like some children, for whatever reason, they died in the house.
All I'm saying.
And I think what was
And
lacking,
the victim.
what was lacking was the music. They should have at least had
Yes.
Ride the Lightning. That would have been awesome.
That would have been a little
Fear of the
out
Dark.
place. Yeah,
Iron Maiden, Fear of the Dark.
Why not Ride the Lightning?
maybe
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
that was a
credits.
good one too.
In the ending credits, have Ride the Lightning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
But
characters.
that was the other thing, like what I was mentioning earlier. What was that thing that Tucker like built? It was like a boom pole gun or like a mic gun or
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
mic
It was
with
like
sound.
it was
something.
essentially
And when they were walking through the house, when
it
he
was like
had
a boomstick essentially.
a boomstick, but he had it shaped
boom
like a
mic,
gun.
yeah.
It was like a Tommy gun meets a boomstick.
Yeah, it was like a boom mic
When
essentially.
they were walking through the house, the whole sound design, all you hear is like the static from that thing, and that's it. Like, And there were some times where it was just like dead silent, and they're just walking around in the dark, and it's like a close up of somebody's face, and it's like it would have been more scary, like if you see the atmosphere around them, like like you see the wide, darkness of the house, you know, and it's just like the person's face, and that's how and you're just like, and then they cut to another angle of the person's face, and it's like.
And two more things I'm gonna gripe about. One, like they hook up a small camera, to Elise when she's walking the first time. They were able to see a spirit there, but she couldn't see them.
But wasn't it the 50s?
No, it was in the current, like it was in 2002.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, and even if it would have been the live girl, you would have think she would have at least found like, oh hey, you know, somebody's here.
Yeah.
First of all, how did she get out this far and then get chained back? That's another question if that was the case. But if it was the spirit, it's like how would she not be able to pick up on that?
Right.
But the camera would. Second thing is the way Imogen gets into the further is that she gets hypnotized. Even Specs mentioned, I've never done this before, you know, and he tries to, and then that's the first joke with the ET and shit like that. Ugh. And
that was funny. I liked it.
And yeah, some people in the audience were laughing. I was just like, that's nah. And so he tries, and then he fails, understandably. But then Tucker shows up and automatically knows how to do it. And they don't establish. I don't know if they established in part 2 or whatever, but
I don't remember.
I think they did.
Or maybe in part 1, maybe
They
in part
did
2.
it
I
with
don't know.
what's that thing called? The metronome?
The metronome.
Yeah.
But has he done that before?
I don't remember.
You know. Well, even then, if you think about it.
If that were the case, you could have just done that from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, even then, the way the order, the timeline, he would have already known how to do that in the later films, but not so much in this one. So that's another.
That's true.
Right. It's like, how would he know how to do it? And
yeah, there's like a lot of tonal inconsistencies in this movie too, because these guys are like comic relief most of the movie.
You know what it seems like to me, that the director for this movie didn't really see the other ones, so he's like, well,
yeah.
No,
or maybe he rushed seeing the other
ones.
ones.
It could also be a lot of studio interference. It could have
be a lot
of
like I think there was a lot of studio interference with the writing and all that, like particularly that, I'm just gonna say it, I don't care, like it seemed like they were really hitting it on the nose with like that like girl powered theme in the movie, like they were like they're forcing Hollywood to do that a lot.
I didn't really pick up on that too much. Mm-hmm. I can kind of understand like that point of view, but like I said, I kind of blame it more on just bad writing and inconsistent.
But
writing.
see, that I think could have been studio interference.
Yeah.
Like forcing them to like throw that theme into the movie, like hitting the audience on the nose with it.
Force feeding them.
And which I don't think they have to do, because Lynn Shay is already like she's already the heroine of the Insidious franchise.
Yeah, she's already established.
And she can do it on her own. Like I thought she did good in all the movies. That character is a badass. Like I like her character in these movies. The Elise character.
Yeah.
What did you give it?
Well, just what was I gonna say? I was gonna make a quick point, going back to when Tucker was hypnotizing her, was that I would at least bought it if he actually did that with the metronome, and then she became hypnoptized, and then you see him quickly go like, holy shit, that worked.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
I would have at least bought it then. Like, oh, okay, well he just lucked out.
And I'm hoping that there's like a deleted scene on the Blu-ray of something like that, and they cut it out for.
Hope there's a whole new movie.
And then the director's cut of this movie might be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
you never know.
But I mean, I'm not gonna rag too much on the movie. I think it's dollar movie worthy. Like, and I think it's Redbox worthy. Like, it's worth seeing once, and if you like it. If you're a fan of the other Insidious movies, then you can buy it and add it to your collection just to complete the collection. But in my opinion, there's a serious drop off from the other Insidious movies, and then this one. Like, and I think I put it a lot on the director. Like, for real. Like,
yeah, careful, that stuff's strong.
Because I bet if James Wan had been at the helm of this movie, same exact dialogue, verbatim, same actors, same script, everything. I guarantee you he could have made this movie a lot better.
Yeah, maybe we can make some calls and ask them to make the next one.
Yeah, because we have that pull. We have that much pull in Hollywood.
We're famous, guys. 3 Dudes of Horror, man. Subscribe. Subscribe.
I give it like a C minus.
That's what
You
I
know,
would give it.
dare I say maybe even like D plus to C minus. No,
I was gonna give it a D or a D plus, but I think it's
It's not that bad.
I'll give it a C minus.
good though.
I'll
But
give
it's
it
not
a, I'll give it a C minus because it didn't piss me off. It didn't inherently just piss me off. Not like your wife that was just walking out like fuck this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I'll give it a C minus. You know, if you can watch it for free somehow, or $1 theater, Redbox,
Do it.
con somebody into buying your ticket. You know, that's one way to do it.
Well, I mean, like I said, like Lin Shaye is really working hard to carry this movie, and I think she did a damn good job in this movie.
Yeah, and
And a lot of the
agree.
supporting actors were good, but it was just the material, man. Like,
Yeah, I agree that it was the actors did the best they could with what they had.
dude, did you know she's 74?
Wow.
Wow.
I did not know she
She
was
doesn't
that
look
old.
74.
No.
She was
74.
maybe 50. I thought she was like 50.
Although I did find it a
74.
little funny that when Elise like says goodbye to her mother, like her mother's like taller than her, you know, like and a little bit bigger than her.
At least is older.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just found that a little funny. Like everybody was just towering over her, but that's just me.
But that's the thing, like
You're OCD.
I think it's cool that she's like small in stature like that. But
Yeah.
you're still behind this character. Like she's a badass. dude.
I
Like,
still am. I'm still behind.
She's a
her.
badass and she's brave. Like, and she did her best to carry this movie. But
She was just alone in it.
Yeah, like no, I give her a lot of.
She did
credit.
really
Both-
good. I agree with her acting. I mean, is impeccable.
Yeah, I give her a lot of credit, both Lin Shaye and Elise as a character. I'm not gonna do that, you know, shit. I'm not psychic, you know, but I'm not gonna go to a haunted house that's
Fuck
full
no.
of demons. I'm not gonna do that.
I'm
No,
not
that's-
that fucked up.
No.
Not yet.
So she,
and I'm a coward.
she
I'm not
had-
that brave.
yeah, she has more balls than all of us.
But yeah, like if you're like what you said, if you're a huge fan of Insidious, where you don't care if this movie's not gonna be as good as the other ones, then go pay full price and go see it. Like,
Yeah.
buy the Blu-ray, like buy the 4K or whatever. Like,
Yeah, 4K is good.
but if you're like a casual horror fan, this is more like dollar movies. Just wait for the dollar movie. Like,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
got nothing to do and you're like, oh, let's go see this.
Hey, you know what? There's 2 guys that walked out.
Oh, really?
Mid-movie.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
No, I
The
didn't.
ones in front of us, remember? You didn't see them?
No, I was
didn't notice
too into the
that.
movie.
Damn.
Yeah, they walked out like mid-movie and then just didn't come back.
Shit, I'm like, hell no, I paid. I'm gonna watch this
Yeah.
movie even if it's atrocious. Like,
Yeah, so that's our review of Insidious 4.
the
So
last key.
yeah, the last key.
The what key? Question mark?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the last key.
Question mark.
Like I said, full of plot holes, a lot of nitpicks as well. Like I said, you can watch it at your own risk, but like we mentioned, you know, if you're gonna watch it, just you know, dollar theater, Redbox, or con somebody. So, all right. So we are the 3 Dudes of Horror. I'm Toots.
Damien,
And Worm Boy. We'll see you next time, guys.
All right. See ya.
what are we gonna review next time?
I don't know.